Okay, awesome. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Jerry. Bye-bye.
Freaking Johnny, that might be a deal. Here on my YouTube channel, I talk a lot about how to analyze, negotiate, and make offers. Well, in this video, I'm gonna do a step-by-step deal breakdown of a recent deal I just got accepted, including the live call to make the offer. And what's super cool about this deal is my 16-year-old son, Jonathan, found the deal for me remotely using my Flipster software. On this video, learn exactly how he did it, coming up.
This video is brought to you by the 100% Funding System, a program where Jerry Norton funds 100% of your deals with his money. To learn more, go to usejerryscash.com.
If you're new here, my name's Jerry Norton. I've been a full-time real estate investor now for over 17 years. Amongst other things, I specialize in flipping houses all across the country, and I've helped thousands of new investors get into the game of flipping and create six-figure and even seven-figure incomes. If you want to learn how to flip houses so you can live your dream life, be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon to get notified when new videos are released. Okay, my 16-year-old son, Jonathan, who is just barely learning about real estate, gotta love homeschooling, found this deal using my wholesaling and house flipping software, Flipster. Let me walk you through step-by-step how he did it. Once logged in, under the Find Deals tab, he created a search under MLS leads. Now, in case you don't know, I developed an MLS scraper tool that finds underpriced properties, which usually means they're distressed properties. And this was one of the listings it found. Let's take a look. It was listed for sale for $140,000, and based on a handful of pictures provided, it looks like it needs some work. You can see here in the kitchen some drywall repairs were done, and you can see the floors need refinished. Looks like it needs painted on the inside and the outside. The cabinets look like they've been sanded down. The counters don't look that great. So not in terrible condition, but definitely needs a rehab. So my next step is to add this lead to my properties and then open up the property. From here you can see what I call the workflow. Now this has all of the steps to take this property from a lead to a deal. So the next step is to quickly crunch the numbers. Under step 3, analyze, click comparables so we can determine the after repair value. As you can see here, the system gives me a map on the left and then addresses on the right. What I like to do is click right here and select all of the comps and then go through and uncheck the ones that I don't like. For now, and to keep it fast and simple, I'm gonna deselect the comps that are way off, usually on square footage or price super low, anything that really looks obvious. If I wanna get really detailed with ARV, I could pull up each comp and really look them over, but for now, I'm just trying to establish an average by looking at several comps in the area. Now, one thing cool about this tool is once you've selected all the comps you wanna use, right here it gives you an average price per square foot and an average price based on the comps you've selected. So the next step is to run the deal analyzer, so click right here. Now it's going to prompt you on some questions. First is to choose the type of deal, so click fix and flip. Then it asks what type of rehab is needed, and it gives you 3 choices. Light, which is a very minimal rehab, carpet and paint type of rehab, or average, which in addition to carpet and paint is also kitchen and bath, and then finally is heavy, which is your complete gut projects. Now, in my experience, most rehabs fall into one of these 3 categories. If you want a better understanding of how this custom algorithm works, I did a video that breaks it down in detail. I'll put the link to that video in the description below and you can check it out. For our deal, I'm gonna choose average, and then it asks if you plan to wholesale the deal, and if you choose yes, it will ask your desired wholesale fee. Now, I'm gonna leave that blank for now, but any of these numbers can be adjusted. This is just to help build out the deal analyzer tool. Okay, so hit submit. And now let's take a look at the numbers. I'm showing approximately a $200,000 ARV, $20,000 in rehab. I've got down 9% to cover closing costs. That covers all of the fees, including when you buy the house, and the fees including commissions when I sell it later after it's fixed up. I budgeted 6% for carrying costs. That's how much I'll pay to borrow 100% of the funds from hard money or private money. That leaves me with a 15% profit margin, or approximately $30,000, which means if I fix and flip this deal, I would pay about $120,000 max on the buy price. Which means if I fix and flip this deal, I would need to pay about $120,000 max on the buy price. If I want to wholesale this property, I could probably find a buyer willing to pay me $5,000 or $10,000 more. Here's how the numbers would probably adjust if I want to wholesale it. Let's put $10,000 down for a wholesale fee. Other flippers don't budget as good as me for soft costs, so I would bump the closing costs down to probably 7% and the carrying costs down to maybe 5% and the profit down a little bit to 13%, which puts me at the same buy price of $120,000. So I could keep it for me at $120 and then I'll fix and flip it, or at $120 I could probably wholesale it for $10,000 more to a local flipper in the area. Now I hope that makes sense. I went through that kind of fast. If you want a slower, more detailed breakdown of how to crunch the numbers, be sure to check out a video where I really explain it thoroughly. Link in the description. So I feel really good about $120,000 for a buy, and currently it's listed for $140,000, but check out what it says in the comments. It reads, seller will offer $10,000 escrow to buy for completing renovation. Unbelievable opportunity for investor or handyman at $82 per square foot. Seller's plans have changed, and here's your opportunity. Home is in need of final finishes. Combine that with some sweat equity and turn this diamond in the rough into a gem. Great 1,700 square foot, 3-bedroom ranch with wood floors, huge family room with gas fireplace, and spacious kitchen that is almost completed. Good sized living room and dining room. Country-sized lot with apple trees and welcoming circle drive. Attached garage used for storage. Seller will offer $10,000 escrow to buyer for completing renovation. So to me, that means if he's willing to give $10,000 at closing to finish the rehab, $140,000 asking price is really $130,000, which means we're not that far off. So now it's time to make an offer, and this is where my 16-year-old son Jonathan came to me. He's not quite ready to call and make offers, so I did that part and recorded the call, which we'll cut to in a minute, so keep watching. But first I want to point something out. My 16-year-old son found this deal using Flipster as part of his homeschool curriculum. And you know how people always say, if I can do it, then you can do it? Well, if my 16-year-old son Johnny can do it, you certainly can too. Of course, Flipster definitely helps, which is why you owe it to yourself to check it out. To learn more and see it in action, just go to getflipster.com. Since this is on market, I followed my double dip technique where I call the listing agent directly and offer to let that agent represent me in the transaction. That way they get both sides of the commission and are motivated to work with me. First thing I do is I Google them and I find their cell phone online somewhere. Then I send a text that says the following. Hi Robin, I'm an investor interested in making a cash offer on your listing on Phelps Road. Please call me ASAP to discuss. Usually they call me right back, and that's what happened with this property. Let's cut to the call now and take a listen. Okay, hi Robin. I got it pulled up here. It's Phelps Street.
Correct.
Yeah, what can you tell me about this property? What's going on here? It's been around for a bit.
Yeah, so a couple things. When I first listed it, they had to get it in the MLS because they had a contingent offer on a property up north. So
they made that offer pending this one?
Yes.
Okay.
So when I put it in, I went over there and I wasn't really in condition to take any photos. So for a while, I just had the exterior photo, and that was just before the 4th of July, right? So we got a few showings, not many, and they just, we kept getting aggressive with the price on it. So, I mean, to me, I see a ton of potential. I think that he just got in over his head with starting projects and then not being able to focus enough to finish them.
Is this an investor that owns it?
No, it was a family.
Oh, okay. Because I see the drywall on the ceiling, in the kitchen and stuff.
He had been reworking the whole kitchen, and then he just ran out of juice.
Are those new cabinets?
No, he had sanded down, I believe, the originals, and his intention was to paint them.
Paint them. Okay. Yeah. But the appliances come too?
Yeah. Whatever's there stays.
Okay, so let's review what just happened so far. I started out by asking a very important question. What can you tell me about the property? I like to ask this question to agents as an icebreaker and to see how open and upfront the agent is going to be. Now, I want to find out how much they know about the situation with the seller. I'm looking for information that can be useful to help me negotiate and make an offer. For example, by asking the question, it helped me understand why this property has been on the market for a while and hasn't sold. It was listed about 6 weeks earlier for $185,000, which is way overpriced, and she didn't have any pictures. Now, looking at the history, they started dropping the price, and then right before I found it, she did a big price drop from $160,000 to $140,000 and offered a $10,000 rehab concession. That means the seller went from way overpriced to price to sell right when we called and made our offer. Now, she explained that the seller is a homeowner that started doing his own home renovation and then lost steam and doesn't want to finish it. Sounds like he found a better house and just wants to sell it and use the proceeds to buy the next home. And what I loved was the agent was very open and friendly and helpful. So far, this is a great agent, and asking the question about what's going on allowed me to understand the situation better. Next, I'm going to explain to her my intentions to flip the house and discuss the numbers. Take a listen. Okay, now it says here he'll offer $10,000 in escrow to apply towards renovation.
Correct.
So I'm an investor, right? And I'm looking at it for a flip.
Yeah, for sure.
The way I'm looking at it is, okay, well, if I pick this up, what am I going to spend on it? What can I sell it for if I make it nice?
When I listed it, I ran the comps over there, both in that particular subdivision, legal description subdivision. It runs on stuff on the west side, probably sells for a little bit more than the east side. But I figured my target number was around 200.
That's so funny you say that. I've got the back end number at 205. Yeah, right there.
Yep. So then that's why I priced it at the 185, because I said to the seller, I'm like, what do you think you would have to put in here to finish this? And he said 15,000. But we can't get an end user to have the money to finish it. So this is why
That's why you've dropped the price. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're thinking 15,000, and what would that do? You'd paint the cabinets. Would that be new counters, flooring, paint? Is that kind of all it needs?
Well, he had done the new countertops. I don't know if they're everybody's taste. I don't even know. I think they're like concrete or something.
Yeah, they're different looking. Yeah.
Yeah. In my mind, what has to happen there is the hardwood floors refinished everywhere. The place completely painted.
Yeah.
Maybe some touch-ups in both the bathrooms. The bathroom off the kitchen, the half bath is where the laundry is. So that maybe could be worked a little better.
Yeah.
I don't know. That back family room is awesome. The space there is incredible.
So this is an addition, right?
It probably was.
Most of those homes are not 1,700 feet originally. Yeah. But the floor plan's good, right? Like, it's not choppy. There's no step downs or step ups or anything weird, is there?
I think you step down into that back room.
Okay, but is it functional? Like, right? Does it feel right? You use that for a living room back there, or a big family room, or what?
Yeah. Because there's a living room. If you went in the front door, there's a smaller living room, and then there's a really nice paver patio back there. It just needs weeding. It needs new doors on the front doors.
Okay, that's not showing in the pictures. All right, but roof, windows are good.
Yeah, I didn't see anything wrong.
Maybe would you paint that siding?
Probably. Most people don't want a greenhouse.
Yeah, paint that white or something neutral,
White. And then just clean up in the yard.
So I'm thinking. I budgeted for around 20,000 to do kind of all that stuff.
You should be able to stay within that.
Yeah. So notice that whole time I was trying to establish the numbers by using the agent's knowledge and opinion. I like to ask the question like, what do you think the back end or ARV number is? In fact, she thinks the ARV is 200,000, which is exactly what I calculated. I also like to ask agents, what do you think it will cost to fix it up? Or what do you think needs fixed up? Sometimes I'll ask a specific question like, would you replace the counters? Now, I may not agree, but by asking those questions, I get another opinion and I get other ideas, and she may share some things about the house that are helpful to know, and the agent feels like I value her opinion, which means she'll go to bat for me to get the deal. So next, I'm gonna move to make an offer. Take a listen to how I prepare her for making a sight unseen offer and how I want an inspection contingency. Take a listen. So I'd be cash. Obviously I wanna buy right and have a margin on there to cover everything. I forgot to mention this. I'm unrepresented, so I'd let you write the offer. Are you able to do that?
I can do that, but you would have to sign a disclosure stating that I work for the seller.
That's fine. I'm licensed, but I don't care. I'm not after a commission. I'm after a properties. My goal would be, let you represent me. Makes it a super win for you, and then I'm always thinking long term. So I'd love for you to call me when you get deals like this in the future. I'm always thinking about a long term relationship. I've been flipping in Metro Detroit for 17 years.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Do you want to go see it?
What I prefer to do is make an offer, get the terms and everything all squared away. Give me a day or two, contingency is all. I'll send my guy out to just make sure nothing weird's going on, like a foundation or wacky floor plan or something that I don't quite see. I don't want to spend time and send my guy there and do all of that if we don't even have a contract.
Right, right.
I'd prefer to agree on a price. Just give me a day or two, you know, then my earnest money goes hard and we move forward, cash, close, you know, whenever they're ready. So I told her I don't want to see it. Instead, I want to execute a contract with a window of time to send someone to do a walkthrough to verify the condition and make sure my $20,000 rehab budget is accurate. Now, since this deal is in a market where I do a lot of deals, I have an established team on the ground. But in a lot of remote markets where I do deals, I don't have that. Watch a video where I share how to find your boots on the ground, link in the description. Okay, so now it's time to finally make the offer. Take a listen.
Well, what kind of price are you thinking?
I'd feel really good at around 115 on this.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Where do you think they want to be? I mean, what's their bottom? I don't want to waste anybody's time. I mean,
I think if it's a 125, we can make it work.
120.
Only because of what they need for their what they're buying.
Oh, for their next move, for their next purchase, yeah. That'd be net.
That's the number.
Yeah, that's the number. Yeah, I mean, that's a little tight. I might be able to make that work. Let's do this. Why don't you offer 120 cash, close? How soon are they ready to close?
Tomorrow.
Okay, but what about title and all that?
Title, I pulled title, so that's ready to go. So it would be just a matter of you clearing your contingency and
Yeah.
say 7 to 10 days.
Yeah, let's just give it 2 weeks to do it, to have plenty of time, and that gives me a minute too to get my rehab figured out and stuff. It's vacant or occupied?
It is vacant.
Oh, okay, great. Let's do that. Let's offer 120. If you want to call and do a verbal, and if they say yes, then we can put it in writing. I can do a $5,000 earnest money, cash, close in 2 weeks, as is.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just reach out to them right now. Probably text them because they're both at work. So, and then would you be like buying in a LLC?
Yeah, it would be my entity.
Okay.
If they want to move forward, what I'll do is I'll send you like an offer sheet, and it'll have name, address, all the stuff we talked about, earnest money, closing date, so that you can write the offer.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, appreciate your help.
I'll work on this end and then see and get back to you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Jerry. Bye-bye.
So I went in low at $115,000 so that I'd have a little bit of room, and I'm glad I did because she said the lowest the seller would go is $125,000, which may or may not be true. So I told the agent to do a verbal at $120,000, and if the seller agrees, we'll follow up and put it in writing, which she agreed to do. Now I also told her I'd follow up with an offer sheet. This has everything she needs to write the offer. By the way, I'll give you my agent scripts and agent offer sheet. Just go to agentofferscripts.com to get those for free. So what happened? Well, the agent texted me back with a counter at $122,500, which I told her I was unable to do and I needed to stay put at $120,000. Now at that point, most people would panic that they're gonna risk losing the deal and they would come up, but my gut was telling me that he would come down to my number, and he did. So I got this deal at $120,000. I set my boots on the ground to take pictures and video, and everything checked out. So I'm moving forward to purchase and fix and flip this house. Now, if you found this deal breakdown helpful, leave a comment and say, "Congrats, Jerry, on getting another deal. You are a flipping genius." And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to my channel with over 750 videos. This is the #1 channel on YouTube for all things flipping, and I'll see you on the next video.
And then see and get back to you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Jerry. Bye-bye.
Dude, this might be a deal.
Wee-hoo, dude.
Let's see where they come back at.
Seriously.
Save this. That's kind of where I want to be right there. 120. I like that number.